With all the videos that I make talking about food and cook kits and stuff like that, I often get asked if I cook in my pot. And the answer is yes, I totally cook in my pot. I don't just use it to heat up water. And the question that inevitably follows is, how do you keep it clean while you're in the backcountry? It's a pretty straightforward process, but not necessarily intuitive if you haven't done it before. So today, let's do some dishes. To make this as legit as possible, let's head over to the state park and cook some oats, which is a totally normal thing to do on a Thursday. I should probably mention that I didn't invent this method or anything like that. Like pretty much everything else I know, I learned it from watching Andrew Skirka videos. So I'll put a link to the original video that I learned this from down in the description below. All right, now that I'm here, I need to make my pot nice and filthy for the sake of this video. So I'm gonna go ahead and cook up some second breakfast, some 11sies. Got some oatmeal here with some chia seeds and some hemp hearts, I think it is. Yeah, something like that. And then I got a whole bunch of almond butter. Obviously, I wouldn't carry this much almond butter if I was out on a backpacking trip, but I really didn't feel like putting it in a separate container this morning, so just use your imagination. Let's get cooking. At this point, I am going to consume this. I should point out too, while I have a mouthful of food, that I can't stress enough how much easier it makes things if you make things just a little bit soupy. It's gonna make it way easier to clean out your pot later, so soupy is good. Add a little bit of extra water. Not bad. Could use some butter. A little bit underdone on the oats, but they're not quick oats. I just grabbed whatever I had this morning. And the important part is I am going to scrape out every last bit. This is sort of the first step in the whole cleaning process, and the point is to scrape out as much as you possibly can to make cleaning easier later. Also, by scraping out as much as you possibly can with your spoon, you'll be sure to make the most of the calories that you actually have in your pot. And third and most importantly is so that we are following leave no trace principles. The less stuff that you have in here is the less that's going to get scattered around later. If for whatever reason you can't finish everything that you have in your pot, I'm definitely going to finish this, but let's say hypothetically, you can just go ahead and scrape it back into whatever bag you use to pack the food in. But we really want to get this pot like 99% clean with our spoon so that we're not scattering food all over the place when we clean it. Look at that. Pretty sure I have oatmeal in my beard. Now that we have every possible scrap scraped out of this pot, we're gonna add just a tiny bit of water, maybe a half an ounce or so. And then we're gonna go in with 2 fingers and just start scrubbing around. This seems kind of weird the first time you do it, but really it's not that bad. And it's the easiest way to sort of get everything cleaned up here. Just kind of go around the edges. At this point, our pot should be pretty clean, but we have all of this water remaining inside of it. And we have 2 options for what we can do with it. Option number 1 is just to go ahead and drink the water. Going this route is going to reduce the amount of food that you're scattering around camp and attracting wildlife with. But look, I get that hiker hands are pretty much the nastiest things in the world, and you may not want to drink the water. So I'm not going to fault you if you go ahead and disperse this water widely. You just want to cast it in a very wide arc, obviously away from trails and away from campsites. For me personally though, leave no trace. Now, what if you didn't listen to my advice and you didn't make things soupy, or you got distracted and now you have a whole bunch of burnt stuff stuck to the bottom of your pot? What do you do to get that out? Just go ahead and find some stuff on the forest floor, some detritus. I'm a big fan of small, soft pine branches, and then you're gonna grab that and just go ahead and scrub the inside of the pot with a little bit more water, and that should get everything loose. At that point, you will have a little bit of dirty water in the pot that you can't consume, so you just wanna go ahead and disperse that in a wide arc, again, away from trails and away from campsites. So at this point, you should have a pot that's clean enough to eat out of again. I probably sound like I'm lecturing at this point, but I just wanted to stress one more time the importance of leaving no trace and making sure that you're not scattering a whole bunch of food bits around so that wildlife are becoming habituated to human food. That's obviously not what we want here. But the truth of the matter is that you need to clean your pot so that you don't give yourself food poisoning. So we just have to do our best to get that done and minimize the impact. Of course, you could save yourself all the fuss and just watch this video on freezer bag cooking instead. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.